Hi, this is Wholesome Podcast, Wholesome B Mitch, hat Trey today. I mean, he had the waves going, they was rolling. Now I guess he decided to cancel them out.
No, I mean, you gotta switch it up.
You know, whatever it is. Then we got Kendaya in the building today for the one time. We still in the A, by the way.
A life or no life at this moment. Yeah. Before we start, feel me, please check us out on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, IG, Twitter, shit. Like, comment, share, let us know what's up, feel me. And if you're in Atlanta, comment and let us know that you want to be on the shit. We're gonna come back and you're gonna be on the shit.
Hit us up, please. So what I want to know today is, would y'all rather like be like incredibly happy and alone, or with the person that you consider the love of your life, but not that like they're not making you happy anymore. But this is the person you love, you know. You're not happy. Happy and alone, unhappy with somebody.
Happy and alone.
Happy and alone?
Because I've experienced being with someone when I'm not happy and it's stressful. Like, I lose here.
Yeah.
That's how stressful it will get me. Like, so I'd rather be happy and alone. But at the end of the day, you know, everybody craves someone to be with, a partner. But honestly, if you're not happy, it's not worth it.
I literally seen some shit not that long ago, like being with someone should be peace. So like why am I with you and then I'm stressed and it feel like a job, like I'm out of character? Being in a relationship should make you a better person, make you feel better. It shouldn't be no negative undertones of being with somebody. If you being with someone and cause you any type of issue, let them lose. So I would rather be happy and alone because you can have other people while you're alone.
And like that's something that I seen recently too, and my thought process has always been, if I'm gonna get married to somebody, it should be easy. You know, people always say like,
it's hard work to be related, holding shit together.
Right.
I never understood that.
Me neither.
I never understood.
Okay, yeah, we've been here together, we've been together and shit, whatever, but why are they stressing me out? Just because we known each other forever, like you feel me? Just because I'm comfortable being with them, might be finding someone better. You feel me? Of course, new experience is uncomfortable. Like you feel me? You gotta get out your comfort zone to get to that point.
Right.
But being uncomfortable and happy, or being stressful and comfortable.
Right.
Yeah, no, it's a thin line. But I've always been curious, like, why do people want, or why do people say that marriage is supposed to be tough? You're supposed to push through. Why do y'all think that people say that? Or not even marriage, they just say relationships in general. Like having a long lasting relationship is tough. It's hard work. You got to work at it. You got to keep trying.
From my point of view, technically everything is hard work. Technically. So like, for me, you work at a job, just waking up every day, going to that job is hard work. But the level of difficulty, like game, level 1, level 20, shit. Okay, if we set these standards of being in a relationship, are you fucking off or you not? Like, you feel me? If we already set this tone and shit, I should be going through this difficult point. If I feel like you going out and being too friendly, it shouldn't be that difficult for that. You feel me? If we set out these communication levels and shit, and you're not communicating like I should when I ain't seen you in this long, that should not be the difficult part. It should be some very minute difficulty in this shit. If it's too much, too stressful, we arguing, fighting, somebody about to hit somebody, it shouldn't be that to me. But I could be wrong.
Like I kind of agree too, because at the end of the day, we're still two individual people. We're still gonna have our problems. We're still gonna have our issues. That's why you figure out who you're dating first, so that you know, okay, am I willing to compromise this part of myself for this person? Am I willing to ride the long haul with this person, potentially wanting to marry them? Because at the end of the day, when you do end up marrying them, you know how this person reacts when they're angry. You know how they react when they're sad. So those type of stuff shouldn't break y'all apart. It's gonna be hard, yes, but at the end of the day, you should have learned how to react to how they react when they go through emotions, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, it definitely makes sense. And I definitely agree with that. And I think people don't take that time to get to know people in that way beforehand. But also people present the argument sometimes where they like, you can figure that out later.
And later is never good. Later is never
A lot of people say that though.
Yeah.
But they be like, we could get into a relationship now and I can learn you as we're in the relationship.
That's a horrible thing to do.
A lot of people say that.
Honestly, like based off past experiences and stuff, like right now for me, whosoever I'm talking to, I'd rather be friends with you first. And then if it turns into something good, because we already know each other now.
Yeah.
Like we know what makes each other tick. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm willing to work with you on that.
So I don't know how many relationships you've been in, like a relationship. Did y'all start off as friends or you just jump straight into it first?
I feel like I would say my first one, we were friends for like a long time. So we're like, okay, yeah, let's try it. But after that, I felt like I just jumped into it. And it's funny because I don't know if I could mention this in your previous podcast. You were talking about like, how I would act or, with the, lost my train of thought. Damn. I lost my train of thought.
That's right. But in general, I mean, so even if you get to know somebody, sometimes people change once they get in a relationship.
When they catch them stronger feelings.
Yeah, they switch it up. So it's like, yeah, once they catch them feelings, and if they switch it up, I mean, you couldn't predict that, and there's no way you could have known that. So it's like, now we're in a relationship, now I feel stronger about you.
That's why I think you should be friends first, because for some reason, when titles change, you change too.
People, yeah.
So I rather.
That's why I don't believe in titles.
Yeah, that's why I rather. If you're gonna ask me to be your partner, I want to lay out everything before I say. So let me tell you, before I say yes, this is what I don't like. This is what I like. Because then at the end of the day, you could tell me if you're willing to change it or not.
I agree with your point of view because it's easier as friends to do. We jump in a relationship, we just met, we in a relationship now. Like it's harder to have those conversations. Opposed to something you're already comfortable with as a friend, so you could build a stronger bond, and it's easier to say that what is normally a tougher conversation when you just jump in. You feel me? It shouldn't be tough, but it is.
But it is because it's kind of it's an awkward thing to talk about.
I don't know you, so I don't know how you're gonna take it.
And even if I do know you, it's still like it feels awkward. It's like, okay, we know each other. We feel like we should know these things. But you got to have the talk where it's like, okay, let's actually go over it in detail. Where it's like, nah, this is what I need. This is what I need you to do. Or this is what I don't like or whatever. It does make it awkward.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the best, like the most awkward, supposedly awkward conversations are the best one to be like, you got to deep dive into this shit. Like, to know someone to build and shit. Like, you got to cut through that meat and get to where you need to be.
And even back to what I was saying, I remember.
Okay.
So in the past situations, like I said, I've jumped into it or whatever, not knowing the person, got physical with the person. But at the end of the day, like when y'all break up or whatever, it's like, damn, I actually never knew this person.
That's facts.
Like shit.
And that's a norm, low key. That's honestly a norm.
And to touch that fact, like I said, like on the previous podcast you were talking on, it's like the age differences. I'm 27 now. So it's like I'm at the point now, I'm like, yeah, I don't want to just jump into things now. Actually want you to be my friend first. Let's see how we ride and vibe with each other. And if it turns into something, it turns into something. I just want us to be on the same page.
So when you're younger, you would jump in more into relationships, you feel?
Yes, yes. Because like you were saying, us as females when we're younger, we feel like we need a partner in the beginning stages of our life because we're so new to everything. We want a boyfriend just like everybody else. But then as I'm getting older now, I'm 27 now, I'm like, okay, I did the jumping thing now. I want to actually know someone before I jump into anything and then see where it goes. Try something new.
Knowing someone definitely helps.
Yeah.
Knowing someone definitely helps.
Yeah.
It does, but it's just like getting to know somebody it can help, but it's a tough thing because people, if I'm interested in you, they want to put on the best face of who they are.
Yeah, facade. Like.
Yeah, because I'm interested in you, so I want you to view me and be interested in me. So I'm going to put on the best who I am. So it's like, as you're getting to know that person, eventually that's going to go down, but how do you know what was part of that facade and what's the real? Like, how do you decide what's what?
Yeah.
Like, listen, how do you know? You don't know.
You never know.
It's hard to figure out.
Yeah.
That's why This is personally me,
Uh-huh.
which it don't work for everybody. Take your time, like hang with a person. Like people cut me off because I take too long to commit and shit. But the longer you wait, the more their true self come out. Then you really know them.
Right.
People think that's an issue, but it makes sense. Like know them. Like people will not put their best, or they're gonna put their best foot forward the first time and shit. But like you're gonna see they fall. You're gonna see what they got. You're gonna see what they may not have. You're gonna see their insecurity. You're gonna see their strong points. All that shit is they want to show you or not. After a while, that shit gonna come out regardless.
And like they say, like even with relationships, they normally say 6 months you should know. Well, also 6 months. Well, people change eventually
people change.
after a couple of months. So
every couple of months, people change.
Time will tell.
But even with that, so it's like how you'll be waiting forever though with that, because people are gonna forever change. So you're gonna be forever getting to know this person because people are growing. They're constantly changing. It's a constant thing. If they're remaining the same, then that might be a problem.
But it's their fundamentals, though. Like you said, they're putting on, like, sometimes they put on this facade, like they're this type of person when they're really not. Show your true self first and let me make the decision to accept you.
Fundamentals and morals don't change that much.
Right.
But they can, though. They can. How can your morals change?
Yeah.
I mean, maybe it depends on what it is, but most likely your foundation, you as a person, is not going to change.
Why won't it?
Because unless something drastic happens in your life.
Drastic stuff happens all the time. So sometimes drastic stuff happens, and you have a different outlook on life and people and how stuff should go. I mean, that does happen. Example, something that's drastic would be finding somebody that you fall in love with. That's a drastic change that could change your life, change the way you view things. It could change your morals on things, 100%. Yeah. I mean, so example would be, so you mentioned earlier where it's like, you say you're going through dating, right? Haven't been in a relationship in more than 10 years, right? Now all of a sudden you fall in love with somebody, and your whole viewpoint on how you date people changes because you found somebody to love. That's a morality change instantly.
But for the most part, through them 10 years, shit ain't changed. So
it hasn't, but you haven't also found somebody that you love. So I'm saying that's something that can change quickly. Where it's like, okay, yeah, I like to date multiple people. I like to do it this way, but it could say it changed because you fall in love with somebody. That's an example of where stuff can change.
And for me, these still my guidelines. I don't know, but I ain't never got to that point. So.
But that's just a hypothetical example. I know. That's a hypothetical example of how somebody's morals, how their fundamentals can change instantly when something else happens.
Yeah.
So that's all I'm saying. Where like that stuff does change, and if you're interacting with somebody as friends or as people that are just dating, it's different than interacting with them in a relationship.
Yeah, but I mean, shit, majority of the time it's not gonna change.
Why wouldn't it?
I mean, it's life about percentages and instances. So like
most people change. No. Well, then the percentage will show. Most people change when they have kids. Then most people change when they get married or they're in love. That's a fact. The percentages will show that.
And I had a conversation with you before and shit. Like with kids, yeah, definitely people do change with kids for sure.
So most people have kids. So the percentages show most people change morally. What are you talking about?
Yeah, but no, like people who I feel like this is just my opinion. Married, if they change and shit, and they don't change or they change or whatever, it's just like they change for the person, not for themselves. They're not happy. People who make these changes, are they truly happy? They're gonna go back to them old self most likely.
No, because it's a morality change. Whereas
some people be fake moral.
Maybe, but that's not the majority. Whereas if I have a wife and kids, when I go outside, I view people differently than a single person that's been single all this time.
Kids will change it, but if you just got a wife and no kids, your morals ain't going to change. I know too many married people. With kids, they're going to change it. They're going to change it.
I feel like you have to look at really what do you mean by like morals? Because when you have a kid, they change you. They probably make you work harder, but like knowing the difference from right or wrong, it's it's probably gonna still be
No.
the same
I'm
because
a-
it's in you. It's in you already.
Matter of fact, let me.
I
What
don't think
changes
so.
are you talking about?
I'm a straightforward
Yeah.
example would be like if I'm possibly married or possibly have a daughter, I might not objectify women in a certain way that I did when I was single.
Okay.
That's a great example of it. I might view women differently. I might not be as disrespectful towards them. I might treat them with more care and kindness now because I deal with women in a different aspect that I understand them in a better
maybe
aspect.
in my mind.
It might not change your moral, but it might change your perspective on how to treat people.
Right,
That's not
but
really
no,
a
but
moral.
when I say morals, it's like okay, as a single man, I could say that I might not view that this as wrong.
Okay.
Whereas now that I have
Gotcha.
I have these interactions with women as a wife or whatever, I understand why this could be wrong.
Gotcha.
My viewpoint was like I'll take it to the more extreme. So I feel you. It's just like okay, you might got a wife and kids. It ain't gonna stop you from messing with another nigga wife, type shit.
But it might stop me from shooting at every girl I see.
Oh, you gonna shoot at, but it ain't gonna. That's the masses, but you still gonna do you. You still gonna shoot at certain women who are you married as a married nigga. You wouldn't want nobody talking to your married wife and shit, but you still gonna talk to somebody's wife.
Right, but your viewpoint. So we get into morals and fundamentals. It's your viewpoint on it. It's how do you feel about that? Is this? Do you feel like this is morally wrong, or do you feel like this is just something that you're doing because it's just part of the game, part of the life?
It could be morally wrong. It still could be part of the game, and
I'm saying. So whatever your viewpoint is,
that shit negated because you're gonna do the shit.
No, because people do stuff that's morally wrong every day, and they know that it's wrong. Mm-hmm. If you do something and you don't know it's wrong, that's one thing. But knowing that it's wrong, that's different.
To me, if you're morally wrong and you don't know morally wrong, whatever. If you're still doing this shit, don't matter because you're doing this shit.
Nah, if you do something that you know is wrong, you're more. That's not okay. If you know this is, if you say, I know this is wrong, but I'm finna do this, that's way worse than doing something. Say, I didn't realize that this was wrong.
Nobody should sleep with anybody's wife, but niggas do it every day.
Nobody should be. Depends on what your views are, but nobody should be having sex before.
Everybody knows fucking with somebody.
That's cool, but I'm going to a different one. Nobody should be having sex before marriage. That's morally that's wrong to some people. Morally, it's not to some people.
But it ain't attached to nobody. It's not morally wrong.
Depending on your views, decides your morals.
Everybody knows you messing with a married woman. That's wrong.
No, that's not. For some people, it is. People have different morals. You can't tell somebody what their morals are.
I think that's universally wrong. Like that's a moral you should know. Like don't mess with
you don't
another man's woman or.
But they gonna do regardless. Just because I'm single, whatever, because we're not married, we shouldn't be fucking in the first place.
Shouldn't even be married in the first place.
But you also don't know the parameters of their marriage. My point is, though, people have different morals, though. You can't tell somebody what their morals should or shouldn't be, and morals change. That's my original point, was morals do change.
Yeah.
And so you keep giving that one example. There's hundreds of other examples where it's not just about having sex with somebody's wife. That's the only chance that you get where it's immoral.
I say that's universal, but people do it anyway, and they think
it doesn't have to be universal. My point is morals change, and there's scenarios that help change those things.
That's true. I agree. Morals can't.
So an example would be like, let's use the marriage with somebody's wife thing. You'll view that differently if you're a married man than you do when you're single. Yes, it's wrong both ways, but if you have a wife and you understand what it feels like to have a wife, you'll probably view it differently than somebody that's never had a wife.
Yeah, but they're going to do it anyway.
That has nothing to do with how you view
it. Even if I don't have a husband, I already know it's wrong. Like,
but you don't know how it feels.
Do I need to know how it feels to know?
I mean, I'm generally
when you get married.
I'm generally an empathetic nigga, anyways.
Yeah,
I'm not. So maybe that's why.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm generally empathetic.
Yeah,
especially the older I get. So like, it's common. Like whatever I put out in the universe, like you feel me. I don't want to get that shit back personally.
That's okay, and that's part of morals. So you don't think that at no point that could change?
Not for
or because I mean, it's not like you just put out all positivity. Y'all put out all positivity?
I think I do.
Try, yeah.
I think I do. We're not going to do a deep dive, but yes, I do. I'm great. But we're not going to do
I'm great too.
Yeah.
So, but however, I mean, maybe y'all do. Maybe y'all put out all positivity. Y'all put out all positivity. That's what y'all do. That's what y'all do. But my only point was things, as life changes, your morals change as they should.
Yeah, I feel you. But wrong is wrong. You know it's wrong. Niggas gonna do when you a kid. You feel me? You know, ding dong dish. You know, taking candy from the fucking corner store is wrong. You gonna do it. But your viewpoints, like I taught the bad ass kids, they steal cars. It really ain't hit home till someone took their mama car and shit like that. So I feel you. Experiences change certain stuff, but regardless, you knew it was wrong the whole time.
You saying wrong is wrong, right is right, but there's some things that are on that middle line where it's like, is this wrong or is this right? Everything.
I have an example.
Fucking married people, unless it's
you keep saying that example. Use something else.
Let me bring up another example. You brought up stealing. It's just like someone who's probably like a single mom, can't raise her kids, can't find food, and she goes into, let's say, Walmart or so, just grab some snacks and walked out. For her, it's not morally wrong because she has to do it to feed her kids. But if someone's doing it selfishly, where they have the money to pay for it, then that's morally wrong. Because you have the money.
I feel you, but that's not wrong because if you doing that shit from Walmart, Target,
stealing is stealing.
Not stealing. They in their annual budget, they know they're gonna have missing shit. They're gonna throw away the expired shit. That's in their budget, and so it's already accounted for that they know shit is gonna get thrown away.
But that's nothing to do with that. They're whatever they have in place. It's nothing to do with morals and what we're discussing.
No, that's part of morals.
What they have in place. No, when it's still in their car, then it wouldn't be morally wrong. Because people have insurance, or they should. Therefore, it's accounted for.
I'm saying, not people personal cars and a grocery store is two different.
Insurance is for that, so it's covered.
Everybody won't have insurance, but Walmart always got that shit. I'm talking about the Walmarts and shit, the corner store. No matter what, for them to run these establishments, they gotta have that shit. So therefore,
is it wrong is wrong, or is it not wrong is wrong?
With the grocery stores,
it's very contradicting what you're saying.
No, it's not.
Extremely.
I don't agree.
Extremely contradicting.
If you're borrowing from Walmart because they already got in the budget that shit gets expired or shit gonna go missing, it's in their budget, and you're a struggling family, that's okay.
But Walmart isn't checking for that. The family isn't checking for expired food. They're checking for fresh food.
They want quality.
That's not food. In Walmart's budget.
Stealing, quote unquote, stealing in expiring foods, that's in their budget. They bought that shit, so no matter what, the same money
they're not.
Put it
however,
into it.
In the scenario,
shit get expired, shit get stolen. It's in the same budget.
But they're not stealing it because it's in their budget. They're stealing it because they need it. But the budget is irrelevant.
But regardless of the fact, it's in their budget, so it's not wrong.
That makes no sense.
It does.
That makes no sense.
It's accounted for. Regardless, it's accounted for.
Nobody's disagreeing with that, but that's irrelevant. That's an irrelevant factor.
No.
It was getting stole whether it was accounted for or not.
And therefore, it's in a budget. So
let's say it's not Walmart. Let's say it's a bodega on the corner. It's a local store. It's a corner store, locally owned. It's a local spot. They don't have it in their budget.
I'm assuming to be a bodega, to be a corner store, you have to have
insurance.
Just because you have a car, you don't have to have insurance. You should, but you don't have to. If you're a corner store, you have to have insurance.
No, if you have a car, you have to have insurance. Technically,
you're supposed to.
You're supposed to with a store as well. That doesn't mean that you have to.
All stores have insurance.
All cars have insurance.
No, all cars are supposed to.
All stores are supposed to, but they do not. Trust me.
And even if a store has insurance, I don't think they're gonna have insurance on one item or two items. It's more if the store burns
if it catch
down
on fire.
Yeah.
It's accounted for. And my whole point is it's accounted for.
So according to you, wrong is wrong. However, if it's morally fitting, then it's not wrong, which is kind of what we're saying.
No. It's similar but different. Either they're gonna feel it, they're not. And we're gonna leave it at that.
So in terms of morals, that's a morally okay. That's okay reason to steal.
If you're doing it to
if it's from Walmart and it's to survive, that's okay. It's okay to steal, then, right?
Because it's in a budget.
But I'm asking you, is it okay to steal?
It's never okay to deal with someone. Nobody budgets in their life for another person to mess with a significant other.
Is it okay to steal then or not?
It's in insurance.
That's not what I'm asking though. Is it okay to steal then? That's really a simple question. Because the person stealing doesn't know.
For me to answer this question, we're gonna go down a whole different rabbit hole that ain't got shit to do with shit.
But if I got to steal for my family, I'm asking you.
Yes, it's okay.
Should I? That's it. Just yes, it's okay or is it not okay? Should I do this or should I not? Somebody's giving you advice. So therefore, morals shift. Now, say you're the owner of that company. You're the owner of that company now. So now you just purchased Walmart, and people keep stealing from your store. They're stealing it to put clothes on the kids' back to feed their family. They keep stealing from your store.
Because it's my budget.
Let's say it affects your bottom line.
I'm Walmart. It won't.
I think you might look at it differently then. That's where your morals might change.
Yeah.
Because now, I mean, you could say that, but however, now it's like this is actually affecting my profits.
Right.
But because I'm Walmart, I account for that shit. So
guess how you account for it. You got to spend money to account for it. That takes away from how much money you make.
The budget going to happen regardless. Like it's an annual fucking budget. Like regardless.
Yeah, and so
paying for that. So if I'm already paying for it, the pay I do yearly is not going to change.
No, it will change as people steal more. That means you got to account for more being stolen. That means that number will go up every year. That's how that works.
If I ain't gonna go into detail, but if I see what's going on in the demographic of doing it, and I understand, like, you feel me, if I'm there, the communication gonna go. I ain't gonna, you feel me, because it might be muddy waters and shit, you feel me? But like, if I know you're a struggling person and shit, if I feel where you came from, that's okay. If I feel where you came from,
even though it's taken away from your money now.
I'm be like the nigga who own the grocery store. The same because food, items that break, food that gets old, they throw the shit out. You get that shit to the families.
But we ain't talking about you. You can do that too. But they're stealing as well. You keep on spinning it.
That shit is
in different attitudes there.
The shit that break, the shit that gets expired, and the shit that gets stolen.
You keep on adding in other scenarios.
All that shit is in the same budget.
I guess he's basically saying if he owns a store, he'll put a budget.
So you're gonna put whatever it costs up.
That's it.
And if the number keeps going up, you're okay with that, basically.
You'll increase it.
Yeah, you'll increase it. You'll increase it every year, which is fine.
If I still make money, I'm good.
As long as you turn a profit. What if at some point you don't?
Then shit it gets different. But it's not gonna get there because I know how to figure shit out.
So at that point, when it gets different.
But it won't. I'm optimistic, and when it get different.
Realistically, in real life, that does happen, and it does get different, and it does change. And that's the reality of it, and they do account for it. But however, at points, the reason why they add in cameras and they add in these other implements because it does get to be too much. Mm-hmm. Where it's like, no, this is actually affecting the business. That's the reality of it, and your morals might change then. Where it's like, okay, this is a store. This wasn't a food shelf. Mm-hmm. It's different. Because if I wanted to open a food shop, I'd open a food shop. I wouldn't open a store.
Okay, I'll stop them and got them to the. If I own this shit, Walmart, I'll be the nigga who own the food shelf too. Stop stealing from here. I'm got you to the food shelf I own as well.
That doesn't change anything, though. Well, it doesn't change anything what we're saying.
I'm gonna help you.
Okay, you gonna help him.
That's excellent.
He gonna help him.
That's excellent. So going back to what we were saying though, is like I said, my whole point was that morals change throughout time, and so it's like, as you get in to know somebody, why? Like you don't know when that's going to happen. Now some of those changes are drastic, of course, but you don't know when that's going to happen. So how can you say I'm gonna wait so long to talk to this person?
But that's when communication comes into play and both of your maturity. Like if we're gonna be mature, one person is gonna be like, "Hey, where we at?" Like, and then you be honest or not, and keep it moving. But a lot of people aren't that. People are selfish, so they want to keep the same person, but don't want to be as truthful because they don't want to hurt the person, and then the person leaves.
True too.
And for the most part, unless something drastic happens. People are like creatures of habit. You understand their fucking habits at the end. You understand what the fuck they do. Unless something drastic may change. I feel.
Yes, they are habits, but as we all know, we're all adults. Every 3 to 5 years, we're almost a whole different person. Yeah. So therefore, our habits are changing quickly. Mm-hmm. 3 to 5 years is not a long time.
Yeah, that's great.
But 5 years ago, I had to be different habits.
But like 3 to 5 years is quick, but it's not overnight. So you're still gonna pick up on the slight little changes, their maturity, their job might make them, feel me, or they just don't have any ambition and shit. Like the older they get, they could be complacent. Like 3 to 5 years, you could pick up on all this stuff because nothing happens overnight. So you're able to pick up on the shit regardless of the fact.
Right, yeah, right. So what I'm saying in terms of finding somebody for your wife or your husband, whatever, they're going to be constantly changing though. They're going to be constantly changing like that throughout life.
Yeah.
Why, at this period, why is that the end all be all? That's not who they're going to be in 3 to 5 years, regardless.
But you're gonna change too, so.
That too. So why not just hop into it with somebody? Because I mean,
Right,
if both changing,
that's the thing. If both of y'all are on the same page, fine.
Most likely, you're going
Right
to change
away.
and go together. If you with someone the whole time, like, y'all, most likely, it's going to be a change in both of y'all direction. Most likely.
right?
Sometimes it might not. But most likely, going to be a change in y'all direction. So you're going to be okay with the change because you've been with them the whole time and y'all changing together and growing together.
Right.
So then why not do that with everybody?
Because it never gets that far with everybody.
Mm.
Because some people show themselves earlier than normal, you know.
Everybody ain't compatible.
And everybody isn't compatible.
So then with somebody that's compatible, so people just hop in relationships because we have that compatibility?
I feel like people do that. They're like, okay, this is a good start. Let's see where it goes. And if it doesn't work out, where, you know, then that's when things get serious. Like, okay, yeah, this person is becoming really annoying now. Like, you're around this person even more than when y'all just started dating. Then you'll find and see little things. Then it's now where you're like, okay, when I see the red flags, do I ignore them or I just say, you know, let me ride it out a little longer with this person. Maybe they'll change. So
yeah, no, I mean that's
where communication comes in.
It is. That is where communication comes in. But that's to me, that's like the tough question. It'd be like, people are going to forever change when, you know, no matter even what they communicate. It's like, but what's the right timing of it?
There's never
a right time. That's what I agree
There's
with.
never a right time, but you can gauge it. You can gauge the changes.
And let me tell you something too. I feel like when you're mentally, like, you're in your head all the time, when this person is making you become anxious.
Oh yeah.
That's when you need to have a conversation.
I would agree with that.
You need to have a conversation because you're going to be in your head all the time. You're not going to start making stuff up in your head. Even when the person is not doing something.
Yes.
In your head, they're doing something.
Yeah, that's you got to address that.
Yeah.
You got to address that, especially because you don't want to affect your own mental health because you always think about something like you got to address it. You got to speak up. Hey, what's going on? I'm thinking of all this stuff. Just reassure you.
Yeah, and that's reassurance.
Yeah, you need that reassurance.
A lot of people need reassurance.
Yeah.
And when they don't get it, that's when all hell breaks loose.
Yeah. No, that's when it's a problem. That's a fact. I agree with that 100%.
Yeah.
But then also, people got to find people that are willing to reassure them at the level they want and the level they need, so they don't got to go through that.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's how I view it. What do y'all think about, like, I mean, with that, dating somebody that's older than?
Older?
Yeah, where they're going to change less because they are older. Because I mean, the younger you are, the more you change.
Yeah.
I mean, as you think of, you know, kids into young adults, they're rapidly changing because they're just growing and figuring so much out. And as you grow older, you just change less.
But you go ahead.
I feel like as a female, personally, I rather date someone older than me, but there's a line. Like, I think I could date someone up to 35. Past 35 is too much. And I even feel like someone who's 35 is kind of stuck in their ways.
Yeah.
So I just can't pass that line because I'm like, yeah, I'm too young to be like, you know, compromise and be like, okay, yeah, that's you, all right. You know, I feel like
But you know what you get then.
Too young to want to grow with someone still.
I
need someone to still have space to want to grow with.
So yeah, so you need a little space to grow. So I'm like, otherwise, I mean, somebody that's a little older, you know exactly what you're gonna get. There is no change.
Exactly.
But shit, if you older and I already had this shit in mindset, like, you feel me? Okay, I like how the fuck you were in the first place. And you already probably good, established shit. You already got a good mindset. You might already be outgoing. I'm cool with it.
But that's cool. But then when y'all start talking and you learn more about the person and y'all start maybe becoming physical and whatnot, probably this person likes this thing a certain type of way, but you don't like it that certain type of way, and they're not willing to change.
No, we physical and she older. Clearly she got hella experience and clearly we mesh well.
Experience doesn't have anything to do with it.
I feel like experience fun. Like I done dealt with older women who got good and they fun, they cool, and I'm like, okay, I could rock with you for that.
I've dated someone who was older than me, and there was a specific thing they liked, and for me it was just not working.
Yeah, just
honestly,
it's cool. Like
being a woman dealing with older men and men dealing with older women, I think it's two different experiences.
Okay, gotcha.
Personally, I would assume.
Yeah, I feel so too. An older woman is probably more nurturing, caring,
for sure,
willing to do what you might want to do,
sure.
compared to a man where he's like, I got a young thing, let me show her what I got.
For sure,
like an older woman is gonna be more open to do whatever the fuck they want to do.
Yeah, I mean, but I think one thing you brought up with that's important is you got to be able to have room for growth though. And that's the one thing that I don't think you get from nobody that's older. Is like they are where they are. Yeah. They don't have to have room to grow. They're good where they're at. Yeah. Where it's like, nah, if I'm not there. I'm not good where I'm at. So I gotta have some room to grow. I would like for you to have some room to grow with me as I'm growing.
Right.
But also it might be stubborn because I don't feel like I would assume all older people are not willing because everybody know like. You learn as you go through life. You're not too old to learn new things. So that's just stubbornness. It could be young motherfuckers who don't want to feel me grow and learn new things and shit. So I don't think it's just all based on age. I don't think all older people.
Well, it's never all anything.
Yeah, of course.
But there's an old saying that goes where old and stubborn is a thing.
Yeah, like feel me, you can't teach an old dog new tricks. Right. Yeah, so I feel it. It's a common thing, but it ain't the end all be all.
It's not, but. At the end of the day, no, it's your decision. Do you want to compromise? Do you want to? Is this a small issue or a large issue for you? And you keep it pushing if it's not something you want.
Very true.
Yeah, but you got to be ready to do that.
Exactly. Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, like I said, I went through a phase of dating older often, but I mean, it's not that fun. It's just not. It's cool, but it's just like it's not. It's just not fulfilling enough.
Yeah.
Like 6 people got to be able to grow, and they just got to be able to grow. And I think that growth aspect, even if an older person is willing to grow, they have less growth to do. So it's like, what it is they just don't have much to do. So yeah, it's just stagnant a little bit.
They're not as exciting as you like them to be.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that makes sense. When you're young, you're like, oh, shit.
Yeah, you're excited to get after. You're excited to go work, to go find the job that does this, to go do that, to go travel, to go do that. They're like, I mean, that's all cool, but I view I did that. I view life different. I view those things differently because they're older than me. I've done them. I've seen them. It's not that. I mean, okay, cool, great, I'm fine.
Right. Yeah.
Another thing that we all seen is.
Yeah. So let's toast up. So yes, the one thing we all agree on is the fact that black men don't cheat. This has been a Wholesome Podcast. We appreciate you for coming through today.
Thank you.
Say your IG music shit.
Okay, yeah. So I go by the name of Kendaya. I'm a Jamaican artist. You could find me on Instagram at Real REAL Kendaya KDANYE. That's REAL KDANYE. Check out my music, follow, share, subscribe. Yes. Yeah, man, DM me. You see me?
Yeah, she got great music. If you feel me in Atlanta or anywhere.
It
don't fucking matter where you at, Jamaica, feel me, anywhere. Feel me, collab, vibe.
Yeah,
man.
Yes, indeed.